frozen to the ground. Gosh. Hey friends, welcome back. I am Jason Salyer, and today we're talking about heirloom tools versus throwaways. There we go. So here's two different wood splitters. This Fiskars here is a good quality splitter, does the job, no problem. Very efficient, very effective at splitting wood, and that's what it was designed to do. This is a splitting maul that was my great uncle's. It's probably 100 years old and has had multiple different handles replaced in it. Probably never need to replace the handle in this because they're virtually indestructible. But this one is easily repaired. However, even though I never have to replace the handle on this thing and it is virtually indestructible and it does the job, I just don't enjoy using it as much. And that is the difference between, in my opinion, that's the difference between an heirloom type tool, something that you could pass down to your grandkids and just really, really enjoy using, and something that's, you know, disposable, possibly even throw away kind of thing if you wear it out. Just something about these older tools, the things that have been, you know, used over the years and taken really, really good care of. Well, not that good care of, but good enough care of. And oiled and sharpened when needed, those kind of things. There's just something about using them that just makes it so much more pleasant, so much more enjoyable. The warm wood feel is better in your hand on the cold days, less vibrations, all that kind of stuff. And it's just, you know, is one better than the other? I don't know, that's up to you. But I know which one I prefer to use. This is my new Edc Flashlight. Very bright, high lumens, you know, pretty easy to carry. It's basically got, you know, a built-in kind of carabiner here. Pretty fancy. Clip that on a belt loop. I think most of you tactical guys out there would approve. Anyway, this is along those same lines of talking about an heirloom type tool. This is the Titan Light from Exotac. It's machined aluminum, everything in it, and it's really, really high quality. It's got O-rings that keep it sealed. It is refillable, so if I eventually run out of fuel with this puppy, I unscrew the bottom and I refill it. I squirt that cotton material there with some fresh lighter fluid, and it's back in action. The wick is replaceable, so if I should happen to burn through this wick, it is easily replaceable along with the O-rings and the flints. So I can easily replace the lighter's flints in there if I should wear them out. And in this refill package here, it looks like I've got maybe 5 or 6 in there. So this is potentially a lighter that I've been carrying this thing in my pocket for, might be running low on fuel actually. I've been carrying this thing in my pocket for, I don't know, a month maybe, give or take. And it has been super reliable. It has gotten the job done. I've only filled it up once when I first got the lighter. It does not come with fuel in it. You got to put some fuel in it yourself. But once you get that done, it's ready to rock, and the fuel lasts quite a long time. It doesn't leak out. I haven't had any issues with that because of this nice O-ring right here. When you screw this cap on, it the fuel stays there and doesn't leak out. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. And it's just really, really nice. It's something that, you know, I kind of enjoy using. This, I think everybody's familiar with something like the Bic lighter, is a very reliable source of ignition. Something that's slim and trim and fits in your pocket, inexpensive. I mean, what are they, like, you know, $2 or something like that for a lighter, maybe less, depending on where you get them. But when these are empty, what do you do with them? You throw them away, and that is the end of it. Because of the way it's designed and it's easy to replace all the parts and refill with fuel and all of that, it's something that I could carry in my pocket for years and years and years and potentially pass on down to my kids, you know, and they could have that in their pocket for years and years and years and say, you know, I'm carrying around Dad's old lighter, which which I think is a pretty cool thing. I think that's something that we should, think a little bit more about, as opposed to just being the type of people that buy stuff and throw it away when we've used it up. Just something kind of sentimental. I'm not a really sentimental guy. I don't hang on to a lot of things. I don't have a lot of stuff from my grandparents and things like that. But there's a few items that, it's just kind of precious to me that I've still got them. But this is not an inexpensive thing. This is, don't quote me on this, but I want to say the lighter costs somewhere around the $100 mark. And that is not cheap. And I get that. I mean, it's not. But if it's something that you're carrying around in your pocket for the next 20 years or more, which I have seen no reason why you couldn't. There's no reason why it wouldn't last that long with the replaceable parts that it has. And I'm sure if you had any issues with it, you send it right back to Exotec, and I bet they would fix you right up, even if it was that 20-year-old lighter. So, it's not inexpensive. It's got that. For the price of this, how many Bic lighters could you buy? Like 50, 50 Bic lighters lasts a long time. Here's another really awesome product from Exotac. These are the fire sleeves that you can put a standard size Bic lighter in. And what it does is it makes it completely waterproof. Not that water ruins a Bic lighter. I mean, you can dry them out fairly quickly, but if you do get it wet and you are really, really cold, your hands are numb, it makes it a little bit more challenging if it's, inclement weather and you're suffering from hypothermia. This will keep that from happening. I could submerge this in water for a month and it will never ever get the lighter wet, and it will always work. This one's a brand new one and it's on there good. This one's brand new, haven't been carrying this one. This one has been in my pocket. I probably carried this for 6 months or more, give or take, with no issues whatsoever. And it makes the lighter last significantly longer. The fuel inside of it will last longer because you're not accidentally depressing that button in your pocket. Even if it's not held down for a long time, every time you kind of reach in there and rummage around for your keys or something, you might actually touch that button and some of that fuel comes out. And this will make your lighter last much longer. This product costs, again, don't quote me on the prices, somewhere around, I think, the $20, $30 mark, something like that. And I could buy a whole bunch of Bic lighters, and I could, once the fuel's gone on this one, I just pop in a new one, and I keep on trucking. I like that I can attach a lanyard to it so I don't lose the cap. I think that is a nice feature. And it does have a stay on feature as well. So if I wanted this lighter to stay on, I pull this rubber thing. I don't ever use this. This is not a feature that I find really that important or useful, but it does work, and it'll keep your lighter on if you're needing to dry out kindling or something like that. But I've never used it for that purpose. I actually had it turned around backwards in there for a long time because it didn't matter to me. but I got so many comments about, oh, actually, did you know that your lighter is backwards in that case? And I was just tired of hearing about it. So I turned it the right way. But maybe this is something meeting in the middle. Maybe this is a compromise between that Heirloom type tool, that Heirloom splitting maul, or the Heirloom lighter that's in your pocket for 20 years, and just the throwaway thing that you don't care much about. It's not a big deal, and you're going to fill up the landfill. Maybe this is that compromise. Maybe it's, you replace the part that needs to be replaced, but you continue carrying the case. And I don't see why these sleeves won't last quite a long time. I don't think they'd last you a lifetime. I think eventually you might wear out kind of these ridges on the silicone that go around the sleeve. You might eventually kind of wear that out and the cap won't want to stay on very well anymore. But it would take a long time, I think. Like I said, I carried this for maybe 6 months and it's still no issues at all. And Chris from Exotac was nice enough to send me a bright orange one here because I think it's a good idea to have something blaze orange. Something this important, if you're in a wild place, something as important as being able to build fire, I think it's important to have it easily seen if you were to drop it on the ground. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a comment for me and tell me if you think an heirloom type tool, something that you could potentially use the rest of your life and pass down to your kids is worth the extra money that you'll spend on it. Is it worth investing some serious hard-earned cash on something that's going to last you a really, really long time versus buying a whole bunch of crappy stuff that, not necessarily crappy, but stuff that's short-term that you're going to end up throwing away and replacing? I'd like to hear what you guys think about that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you next time.